stadium shows, all the stakes are higher. I mean, it doesn't matter how many matches you had, but when there's that many people there, I mean, it just creates that huge atmosphere. And the energy that, people are excited because the fans get excited when they look around and they see 72,000 people and they know they're part of something special. They're part of it. That's the great thing about WWE, is like the fans are such an integral part of what we do. And so it just kind of one feeds off of the other. The fans, their excitement gets us excited to go out and do our best. And then, the fans feed back off of us. If we're tearing it down and having a great match, it just kind of works itself up into this crescendo. And, it's always special when you do a stadium show and you have it, as long as the stadium's full. I don't know. I really hadn't figured that part out yet. I'm still kind of looking back and somewhat amazed at 30 years. Well, it's been 30 plus years. I've been 30 years with the WWE, but I think all total, it's been almost 34 years that I've been in the wrestling industry. And I don't think, that I'm not going to be part of the WWE after Sunday. I mean, I'll always have my place. And, one of the things that really interests me a lot are, paying it forward, meaning, working with the talent that's coming up and trying to give them some of my insight and my experience. And, although the product is changing and evolving, I think there's a lot of what I did and aspects to storytelling that's missing in today's game. So I think that's where, I think I can be an asset to the guys of the next generation, guys and gals of the next generation. And then, secondly, I've contained myself within the character for so long. I'm creating more opportunities now to get out and, and meet with my fans and have interactions, more personal interactions, with signings and different things. So I really enjoy that, and getting to hear, some of my fans' stories and how the character has, affected their lives. So it's all that's good. So although I may not be, in the ring, yes, selfishly, you don't want it to end. I mean, it's, I don't think, like I said, and I've said this before, I don't think Brock needed that win. I had no problem doing it, obviously. I just don't think that he was the guy that needed it. I think, I think Roman Reigns or Bray Wyatt would have elevated them quicker to, a higher status. I think probably Roman could have used the victory more so than anybody, because I think, Bray Wyatt and his development of the Fiend now is going to catapult him to that next level. So current roster, I'd have to say, its lesson is not taking anything for granted and live in the moment, because as great as everything is and you're on top of the world, it could all come to an end. So, appreciate the things that you have and live in the moment, and, treat people, my philosophy, treat people the way you want to be treated. And, that's one of the biggest philosophies that I try to instill in anybody that comes up, is make sure that you treat people, with respect, whether, they're here on the card or they're here on the card, or if they're not even a talent, even if they work, you treat everybody the same, because we're all in this together. And if we're all in it together, then the Boneyard match, I wish I would have liked to have had a quote traditional kind of match with AJ Styles in a wrestling ring. I told him, on several occasions, man, I wish you'd have got here 10, 15 years earlier. Cause I love the way he works. I love what he does in the ring. I've kind of called him the modern day Shawn Michaels. I just, as proud as I am of the Boneyard, I would have loved to have had an extended program, what we do. And that's what I try to tell the young talent. Because right now, if you watch our product, as gifted as our athletes are, and they are physically unbelievably gifted, more so than ever any other point. But what we do is storytelling. And and that's the most important part in my opinion. It's not about the wrestling moves. We use wrestling moves to help tell our stories, but it's all about that's where, that's what captivates and keeps people interested in what we do. One of the best things that I've seen done on WWE TV recently is the feud between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That's, to me, has been great storytelling. And people that understand, and there's people especially that understand like the Samoan heritage and legacy, know how important, all that stuff is to them. So, it's to me, it's all.
It's a crazy deal. I get there on Friday. I wrestle on Saturday. Went right from the stadium to the airport. Caught a charter plane to Madrid, and then caught a commercial flight from Madrid back to Atlanta, back to Austin. So, and again, more time in the air than I was actually in the country. It's so that was last year, and hopefully I'm a little smarter this year with what I do, because those weren't really fun.
People look at you and they just see a snapshot of, wow, here's the Undertaker, what a life. And obviously God's blessed you in so many different ways, Mark. But you have a family.
I do.
And you've also sustained, before I talk about your family, you've also sustained some serious injuries. Tell us a little bit about just some of the injuries that you have had over the years.
So, over the last 28 years, I'd say conservatively, I've had 15, 16, 17 surgeries. I've had both of my eye sockets crushed. I've been set on fire. That was not fun. I've torn pec, I've torn biceps. I've had several joint surgeries just to get floating bone chips and different things removed. Been concussed. I don't even know how many times. It's taken a pretty good toll on the body. So it's smoke and mirrors to kind of keep everything together, and a lot of tape and a lot of stretching and ice, but it's not as glamorous, I think, as a lot of people think. I mean, obviously I love it, and it's obvious.